If you're already using OpenClaw or considering it, but have never heard of Manus AI, this one's for you. By the end of this video, you'd understand how Manus stacks up against OpenClaw, and also learn how to set it up and connect it to Telegram, Google Workspace, Canva, and all the tools that you need for it to function just like OpenClaw, if not better, all in under 5 minutes. No terminal, no VPS, no security hardening, just results. So first, what is Manus AI? Recently acquired by Meta, it's one of the strongest competitors to OpenClaw, if not outright better. It's got the same idea, a Jarvis-style always-on 24/7 virtual assistant, but with cleaner interface, better user experience, and stronger safety protocols out of the box. Now, why would you consider Manus over OpenClaw? If you've watched my previous videos, you know that setting it up properly takes real effort. Because OpenClaw is open source, you're responsible for its infrastructure. Mac minis, VPS, security hardening, YAML config files. All of that falls on you. Manus takes care of all of that for you, which makes it significantly easier to set it up and much safer, especially for non-technical folks. And even if you're technical, it saves you a ton of time you'd otherwise spend troubleshooting. Capability-wise, Manus can do everything OpenClaw can do, with arguably better performance, or at the very least, production-grade stability. And the best part, you can try it out for free. Today, I'm going through the setup process step by step with as little technical jargon as possible, so you can follow along even if you have zero technical knowledge or have never set up any AI agents in your life before. Before we dive in, if you find videos like these useful, please hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps a lot. Alright, now let's get down to it. So the very first thing you want to do is head over to Manus AI. So I'm going to leave the link down in the description below. But essentially, if you were to search Manus AI on Google, it would probably be the first result that popped up. So if this is your first time going into Manus, what you want to do is just hit sign up. And if you're like me, you're on a Google browser, what you can do, you can actually continue with your Google sign in and go ahead and sign yourself in. So after signing in, it's going to ask you to upgrade into one of the following plans. But don't worry, you are actually automatically on a freemium plan. So it's free, but of course with a little bit more restrictions in terms of the usage, concurrent usage, as well as tasks that you can schedule. So right now we're going to close this because we just want to take it up for a spin, right? As you can see, you can actually chat with it the same way you would chat with ChatGPT or Claude on the user interface. The very first thing you want to do is probably to connect it to your messaging app like Telegram and stuff like that so that you can actually chat with it on the go when you only have your phone. So what you can do is go over to the bottom left-hand corner here, over to settings, and where you want to head to is go over to integrations on the left-hand bar here. And under integrations, you'll see that Telegram is part of the off-the-shelf integration that you can actually do. And here you'll see that it's an easy one-click connect, so you want to do that. And here there's a QR code which you can scan into. So if you have your Telegram on your phone, just open that up and scan this into your Telegram app and then it'll get connected. But if you have your Telegram desktop set up, what you can do is actually just hit continue in Telegram and then it'll open up, or it'll prompt you to open up your Telegram desktop. And once you do that, you'll see that chat window with Manus actually pops up on your Telegram. And what you want to do is just hit start. And here it goes, it says, welcome to Manus. To continue, you need to link your Telegram account with Manus, okay? So what you do is just click on this link, open it up on the same browser, and it's essentially you are verified in. So right now, if I were to say hello, it will actually respond and say, hello, how can I help you today? So that's now connected with my Manus instance, basically. And so the next thing we want to do, of course, we want to connect some tools into Manus, right? So as you know, with OpenClaw, sometimes connecting tools is not as easy as it sounds. You got to set up a lot of things, which is what I really like about Manus, is because there are a lot of off-the-shelf useful tools that pretty much almost one click or very little steps. So here, what we want to do is probably connect our Google Drive and our Google Calendar, our Gmail. So as you can see, this is an easy option where I can just click on Google Calendar here under apps and hit connect. And if I have my browser open, I can essentially click on the accounts that I want to connect it to, and then that's it. You are actually connected to your Google Calendar. If you want to connect to other apps that are not listed on here, what you can do is you can click on Add Connectors. As you can see, there are many tools for us to choose from Zapier, all the standard tools that you might want to use or want to connect to your agent. So here, what we want to do is we're going to connect it to our Google Drive, which is listed here. And again, giving Manus access to our Google Drive and Gmail and Google Workspace is almost always an easy one-click connect. However, of course, you probably want to be careful about the kind of access that you're giving Manus, because if it has access to your personal Gmail, it could technically send emails on your behalf from your email address. So typically what I do is actually create a separate account for Google, Gmail, Drive, all of that, so that Manus can actually operate on its own with its own email, etc. And that's what I recommend when we're setting up OpenClaw as well. So, you know, this is the same thing with Manus, right? Even though it's arguably a lot safer and a lot more stable, you do want to make sure that you have enough security or safety measures on your end to make sure that in the off chance that it goes rogue, it actually has access to only the non-critical accounts. So we're going to hit continue here. So now it is actually connected to my drive, and it will have access to your folders and stuff like that. So for example, if you were to expose some of your work folders, you'll be able to actually work on those documents or take those documents and be able to work with them, depending on what your business needs or your work needs are. So the other tools that we commonly use that are very useful is actually Canva. So to connect Canva, essentially go over to the apps here and just search Canva. And again, it's off the shelf, it's one-click connect, it's super easy. So you hit that, and assuming that you already have Canva set up, you have an account on the same browser, it's just going to prompt you to sign in. So you wouldn't just hit allow over there, and there you go. It's as easy as that. Authorization successful, and actually already has access to your Canva and Google Drive. So now at this point, once I've connected these tools, actually I technically can ask it to refer to a certain documents in my Google Drive and create, let's say, a poster or presentation slides on Canva for me to take a look at. So let's go back to our Telegram and ask it to do just that. So back on my Telegram, I'm actually asking, hey, can you help me create an 8-slide presentation on Canva covering the comparisons between Manus AI and OpenClaw? I want it to be in management consulting professional style. So I'm not giving it any more context or skills or any information apart from this one line of task. So let's see if it knows how to actually go into Canva and create a presentation for me. So I'm just going to hit enter on that. So there it goes, it says, I'll get started on that right away. I'll research both Manus AI and OpenClaw. So it's great that it understands that it needs to do a bit of research before actually creating those slides. So what's cool about Manus that I have noticed is that there's an estimation of how long a particular task might take, so you can actually go off and do something else and come back later to check on it. So it's just completed the task, and let's see, it's actually telling me that the 8-slide presentation is ready. Here's the edit link, here's the view presentation. So I'm gonna just go over to this link over here, and here we are with the presentation slides, and yeah, it's looking pretty okay, rather solid. I like the professional feel. Of course, there are still a couple of things that are kind of random over here. I think it's missing out some of the things. Having said that, keep in mind that I'm asking it to do all this task without giving it any skills at all. So similarly with OpenClaw, you can actually add skills onto Manus repository basically. And what you want to do if you want to do that is to go over to this little puzzle sign over here, and then it shows you the current skills that it has. And of course, you can hit manage skills. And here you can actually add your own custom skills. So for example, in my last video, I actually shared a Canva skills file. So what we can do is actually add that by just hitting the add button over here. And upload skill, you can actually just drag and drop the skill over here, and then it will add the Canva skill into part of the skill list. And of course, I didn't give Manus any context in terms of what are the styles that I actually like, the fonts that it should use, etc. And so if you're a real business trying to come up with real brand collaterals and stuff like that, you probably have your brand guidelines that you can put into Manus as a context. And so if you'd like to set this as a recurring task, let's say every Monday I want Manus to create these presentation slides for me, all I need to say is, hey, please schedule the PPT slides creation for every Monday, 9 a.m. please. All right, so I'm just gonna tell it that through the Telegram chat. Just to clarify, would you like me to schedule the same Manus AI versus comparison? Let's say different topic. You can pick randomly. The theme should be AI tools. Let's say I do that. There you go. So it's got the recurring task scheduled weekly every Monday at 9 a.m. So that's how easy it is to schedule a recurring task. One of the useful features of OpenClaw, and Manus just has that down as well. Last but not least, if you go back to the connectors and the apps, you see that there are a lot of interesting apps that you can connect to over here. For example, Instagram's Creator Marketplace or Meta Ads Manager, which can automate a lot of the things in terms of ads insight and optimization, which really takes a load off from, let's say, your ad buying agencies or your performance marketing team. And of course, Zapier is over here if you just want to increase the reach of automation into other tools through Zapier. Make is also here as well. And of course, you have Notion, and HeyGen is also here, which is very interesting. So if you guys are interested to see what we can do with HeyGen, which is a video generation platform, I actually did a previous video where I used HeyGen heavily in terms of the sales outreach and stuff like that, which is a clone of me on video. If you want to check it out, I'll link it right up here and down in the description below. But yeah, so there are many applications and tools. These are just the beginning, of course. The fact that Manus has been acquired by Meta, I'm just assuming that this is just going to continue to expand as they support more and more tools to be connected with Manus. And also one thing thing to note, everything that I did so far has been completely free. I've signed up on Manus, completely free. Here we go, it's a free plan. I've connected to the Google Drive, it's also free. The Canva was free as well. So you can actually take it out for a spin before you make any conclusion between OpenClaw or Manus or any other AI agents that you're currently using. But to me, Manus is looking very promising, so I'm going to continue to explore and share a lot more information around it. So let me know if you guys want to see more content around Manus. Please let me know down in the comments below if you have any questions or what your thoughts are about Manus. And of course, if you find contents like this useful, please consider subscribing, and I'll see you on the next one.